Folks, thanks for joining us today. My name's John Dubas with Premier Marketing. We have Katie Novotny with Premier Marketing with us here today as well, as we discuss using the full Premier Marketing portfolio and support available through our organization for contracted agents. We thank you for coming on with us today. Today's presentation is being recorded and will be available on our website at premiersmi.com and on our YouTube channel as well. Additionally, your agent marketer, your agent support manager, success manager will be available. This recording will be available through them as well. Boy, I'm smooth today. We'll ask you to note that in the software package, there is a section for both questions and chat. We ask that you put your questions in the questions section. And if we are unable to answer them today or don't answer them through the course of the presentation, we'll make certain that the subject matter expert for your question is in touch with you and make certain that we have that available to you. So we'll start with a little bit of a level set as to who Premier Marketing is. Many of you on the line are very familiar with us. Some of you aren't. So we are a national marketing organization founded in 1968. That's part of the Integrity Marketing Platform with offices across the country, licensed in all 50 states. We act as an insurance wholesaler working with independent insurance agents such as yourself, with contracts available at the highest possible commission levels and recruiting contracts available to those who qualify. We do so through a full portfolio of products. While we are a powerhouse in the Medicare arena with Medicare Advantage and Medicare Supplement plans and standalone Part D programs, we also have great selection in other categories as well, such as life insurance and annuity products, final expense life insurance, pre-need plans, long and short-term care products, disability income programs, and ancillary benefits such as dental, vision, hearing, critical illness, cancer plans, hospital indemnity, and accident and telehealth programs as well. And so as we look at this full portfolio of products, we find that since many of us are very active in the Medicare community, we'll highlight some of those statistics to start. And we see that it's a near exponential growth as the tail end of us in the baby boomer generation are aging into Medicare. We see that near exponential growth, and you hear the silver tsunami, the aging of the baby boomers, one every 10 seconds, 10,000 plus a day. But we see an increasing number of folks that are 65 that are deferring their benefits because, well, for one reason or another, the pandemic, waiting to get full Social Security at 67, whatever the case may be. That gives us an opportunity to look into additional coverages for these folks as well. So we need to be cognitive of the full portfolio of products because, hey, people on Medicare have some challenges with their health. 2/3 of them have 3+ chronic conditions. We have some challenges with income and savings. And that shortfall of people not accessing all their benefits at 65 is more than made up for by the 17+% of the people who are under the age of 65 and qualifying for Medicare because of disability. We also have to take into account that many of the programs we discussed today are aimed at the younger population. So we're looking at a very broad audience of beneficiaries that are open to and are looking for the programs that we offer. And we find that in the Medicare arena, many of the folks aren't taking advantage of that open enrollment period, that annual election period from October 15th through December 7th to compare their programs year over year. Kaiser Family Foundation tells us that that's the majority of people. And so that gives us the opportunity to look at not just those base programs, but to speak to other cross-selling programs that help fill the gaps or meet specific needs. And that drives our retention. It increases our persistency. So our renewals are where we want them to be. And frankly, as straight commission agents, that's our salary year over year. And we want to be able to take care of that regardless of an election period, of any special election program, or even the special election periods brought about by weather and other circumstances. When we look at the arena that I deal with predominantly in the Medicare arena, we find that we have a full portfolio of Medicare Advantage products with the national carriers and many of the strong regional carriers that make a difference for you in your market. It's really important that we look at these and be able to deliver upon that information necessary to help people make a choice between these programs. And in order to do so, we need to make certain that we are licensed, contracted, and certified to deliver these programs. And that same philosophy carries over into the prescription drug plans that are available through our organization. And you'll find that the majority of these are available as part of your Medicare Advantage contract. Couple of exceptions to that. Mutual of Omaha, it's a separate contract from any of the other products that they offer. And CleverRx is actually a discount program and not a full sanctioned prescription drug plan. In the Medicare supplement arena, we want to make certain that we have a full selection such as what we have here in order to make certain that we're addressing the needs of the full spectrum of Medicare beneficiaries. We saw in that earlier slide where many of these folks have some challenges with their budget. Some of them do, some of them don't. We want to make certain that we are offering solutions that give our beneficiaries and our prospects a choice as to what may be the best selection for them based on their needs, not on our personal opinions. And that same philosophy, of course, we see a change year over year in the number of med sups that are available. And we want to be able to deliver this information based on our prospect and clients' preferred way of receiving that information, be it in person or virtually, because folks are trained in this market to receive that information. And when we look at the younger population, we see that they too, in many cases, are more digitally savvy than the seniors, but we've trained many of the Medicare beneficiaries to receive that information because of the circumstances we've all gone through in the last 2.5 years, where these folks have gone to the doctor, they've gone to the specialist, they've done prep work for hospitals or even with dentists to receive that information and take advantage of doing some things virtually. That makes a huge difference because it's in every part of our life. Hey, even our religious services are being held online. And we want to make certain we have the technology to deliver upon that. And you'll find later in the presentation that we do just that. So much of what we use in our Medicare world, you may have seen this in our lovely presentation, what Medicare doesn't cover from last week. We use the Bible of the Medicare world, the Medicare and You book, and it tells us exactly what is covered and what is not. And it gives us the opportunity to use some of the regulations that we endure, welcome, embrace, whatever we want to say with it, that takes not only into account the compliance component that we have to abide by, but it gives us that opportunity to speak to other products, and it preps that opportunity to do so. And so as we go into page 55 of the Medicare and You book, it's going to tell us what isn't covered by Part A and Part B, and that preps us for the discussions that we can have either during that initial program or that initial appointment, I should say, based on that scope of appointment in the areas of some of the extras. So dental, vision, hearing programs come into play big time. But it also preps us for long-term care discussions because many people assume that, hey, Medicare is going to take care of that as well. And we find that, hey, that's just not the case. And so as we look at these categories with dental, vision, hearing, and some of the other ancillary supplemental benefits that our organization offers the leaders in each of these categories as well. Dental is a huge demand product, and we find many agents are using that as an entree of building a book of business and creating that funnel of T65s, because we see in most of these programs an increase in the premium from 64 to 65. And many of the folks that if they've had dental coverage with their group coverage at work, or if they haven't had it in the past and they need it, it's a great opportunity then to market in a different fashion. Because when we look in the ancillary world, we're looking at programs that not only satisfy that specific need of our prospects and clients, but gives us additional marketing opportunities without some of the different requirements placed upon us in other categories, and obviously creates an additional revenue stream for our agencies as well. So one of the big categories we haven't discussed and that we are about to deals with that ever needed and underutilized long-term care solutions. And so what we've done is make certain that we go beyond just long-term care and we look at some of the other holes in the coverage that people have with chemotherapy and some of the other good, bad, and the ugly that we see in just traditional Medicare or Medicare Advantage programs. I think I threw a loop in there for you there, Katie, because I had a couple of my slides messed up a little bit out of order. And here's where we go with welcoming Miss Katie Novotny into our discussion and say, hey, Katie, you want to take the helm? And we will give ourselves an opportunity here to visit with you.
Thanks so much, John. I am going to actually share my screen. Can you see it? Can you see the website?
Absolutely. Product portfolio. Looks great.
So the reason why I'm utilizing this is we here at Premier, we revamped our website this past year. And the one thing that we did do is we kind of broke it down into departments. That being said, this can be found at premiersmi.com, and you would simply go down to the products, and you're going to see underneath the LTC, STC, but you're also going to see disability and critical illness. Things that we have seen recently are people are asking questions such as, what happens if something would happen to me? Do I need to go to a nursing home? We're actually hearing things such as, the anti-nursing home, the home care only products. Those are really what people are asking for after the pandemic. Another thing that people have become very aware of is changes in their job and employment. What happens if I'm not working or if there's a change? I need my paycheck to be protected. So in looking at all these products, we kind of looked at the underwriting processes and the needs, and these are really a protection portfolio. That being said, we have 3 different types of long-term care solutions alone. The long-term care section, and we're going to kind of brief through here, but what is going on here is this is going to break it down to what the traditional policies do. The thing that we thought most of is that a lot of people don't sell long-term care, but they're interested in their being asked. So on our website, and this is in front of the portal. This is not within the agent portal at all. So if you ever have just some questions regarding what the actual products do, along with cross-selling ideas, there are questions on here that you're going to see that these will tell you why your clients might be asking. Another big thing we see is a lot of our agents are in the Medicare field, the above 65 market. With those, long-term care is actually designed for someone under age 65. We issue to age 79, but primarily we'll see the sale right in the mid-50s to 60. We also have people that have budget limitations and maybe a little bit more significant health history. Short-term care has become a great alternative to the traditional long-term care asks. While your clients don't know the product that they're asking for, they're defining it. They want to know, where can I recover at home? Where can I stay with my family? This being said, short-term care can offer home care only policies to your clients at a lower rate with some simplified issue or some underwriting concessions. So we see a lot of people starting with the short-term care product. The other thing is this is my only long-term care solution that we do not need to have a long-term care certification. In our industry, the last thing we all want to hear is additional studies and additional hours. But with the traditional long-term care and what we're going to show next of the hybrids, those would require an additional training required by your state in order to sell. So short-term care is just an appointment with your health license. So that might open a little opportunity and allow you to at least address it. We have a lot of agents that start with short-term care, end up getting certified and go to the traditional long-term care policies. But just to get our toes wet, short-term care might be a great option to start. Down here, you're also going to see why clients or why we are offering it. Again, you're going to see throughout our website on these pages that the big thing is we want to tell you what there's to sell, but why you should consider it and how to get started. So we do have tools for all of those. The last one we have for traditional long-term care is going to be the hybrids. The hybrids are simply a long-term care policy attached to a life insurance or an annuity. So if you're in the annuity and annuity or life insurance departments, we can easily transition if your clients are worried maybe about what happens on that what if moment for long-term care planning. The other thing I wanted to show you was the last two things we mentioned. The younger clients, we are also seeing a lot of questions on disability. After the pandemic, there are a lot of questions regarding people's paychecks. We offer different types of disability insurance. We have the graded policies, which would be the higher risk. We have group policies, and we have individual. We also have the critical illness policies. As John was saying, all of those little ancillary products are things that your clients are starting to ask for post-pandemic, and it is allowing us to kind of go back to them and ask additional questions. The biggest thing I learned as being an agent out in the field, when I wasn't asking the questions or offering it, they surely would have it offered by someone else. There's nothing worse than that. So with that being said, you are more than welcome to contact me with any of these products, and we also have tools to help you not only create the policies and do case design, but initiate the conversation. And that's probably the most important things with this. John?
Sorry, it helped when I took myself off mute, Katie. Sorry.
No problem. No problem. Do you have any questions for me?
Yeah, there's actually, when you talked about the additional certifications that you have to do with long-term care, what all does that entail?
Sure. So we actually use a website called ltcconnection.com, but you're always more than welcome to call in. We have the majority of our states that are going to require an 8-hour certification. What that is it is going to certify them to not only have the knowledge of long-term care, but what we call partnership policies. It truly is a partnership training. Long-term care insurance can offer an asset protection program built in by the state and the carrier that will protect your client's assets if ever they came into a Medicaid spend down. So in order to be able to offer these policies, the states require you to have that training, and the majority of states will start with an 8-hour training. Every 2 years to 3 years, depending on the state, they will require a refresher course. Most refresher courses are about 4 hours. The thing about the certification, I always remind agents, this will count towards your CE hours that you will have in your renewal cycle. So the majority of our agents that write traditional long-term care will build that in.
Awesome. Another one speaks to the difference between long and short-term care. What is the time difference between that? Is there such a thing?
So, absolutely. Traditional long-term care, when it is filed, must provide coverage for 2 years and beyond, meaning that the minimum coverage that you would have in the assisted living facilities, the nursing homes, or at home will be a minimum pool of money of 2 years, where short-term care cannot be over 1 year. Majority of our short-term care offerings will offer 360 days of coverage per setting, meaning that you will have a limit of under 1 year in each setting, whether it be a nursing home, assisted living, or at home.
Okay. And then the other one, when you speak of the pool of money, do we have a way of determining what amount is proper for an individual, or how does that work?
Sure. So we often get these questions. So what will happen is you'll fill out a long-term care resource guide. In fact, I'm going to slide one over here. This is also on our website, but you're going to see under here, under our agent resources, we have quick guides. And while it might be a little more difficult to see, I'm going to try to make this a little bigger. You're going to see we have a plethora of them, but including short-term care pre-qualification form and long-term care pre-qualification form. How we determine the amount of coverage that someone needs is we look at where they're looking for future use. We have a lot of snowbirds that might buy their policy up in Ohio, Pennsylvania, with all intentions of retiring in Florida. So with that being said, we have calculators here at Premier that we use once we talk to the agent discussing this, and we also can vary it upon budget. So if the average cost right now, and I can tell you in Nebraska, our average cost, depending on where you are, is between $6,000 to $8,000 a month for a nursing home. We may plan to go down south where it could be $7,000 to $9,000. That being said, we also then will build the policy around the average costs of what they are today, and then adding inflation riders and things like that to make sure we're offsetting future costs as well.
Awesome. One of the categories we speak to a lot and address, and this is not a question from the audience, it's one I have dear to my heart, is how do you deal with veterans who say that, boy, I'm just going to go to a veterans facility?
It's a constant question that we have. And, you know, while there are great veterans facilities across the nation, the big misconception that we have found with long-term care planning is that is also based on the need. So the higher the need in order to utilize those facilities, the higher you are up on that list. And it also can be determined how far you are on that list based on the disability that you have obtained while you were in service. So that being said, not all VA hospitals can open their doors to everyone in need, but they do have a priority or a ranking, and that is determined based on the disability experience through while you were in the service. Does that make sense?
Yes, indeed. And I know when my older brother had a stroke, he had to go into a facility and pay until there was a bed available in a VA facility as well. And I think sometimes folks don't take that into consideration, and that would be a great way of determining, well, gee, maybe a short-term care program would be very appropriate in those instances as well.
Correct.
So
we often have people, whether they have traditional long-term care policies, maybe they have a life insurance with a long-term care rider, or they have some kind of government assistance, such as VA benefits, that will look at those short-term care just to kind of plug those other holes.
Are the short-term care policies underwritten in a different fashion than the long-term care policies, or how does that work?
Short-term care policies will be underwritten on a much smaller scale, meaning that there are no medical records, there are no phone health interviews or cognitive screen. The only phone health interview that we will see is if, when they do a prescription drug check, if there's a difference, maybe there's a medication that you're taking for one condition and it is also listed for something else. And we often see Parkinson's medications that can be used for a restless leg or something of that nature. The underwriter may reach out for that type of reason, but there is no phone health interview with the cognitive screens on it. So that has allowed for a lot of opportunities. The other two big reasons are females pay the most for long-term care. A lot of our short-term care products are still unisex priced. So we have a lot of females that are really interested in that. And also height weight charts. We have a lot of our carriers in the short-term care arena that do not take into consideration someone's build. So if you have someone that may fall under or above a build chart on a traditional chassis or maybe a life with long-term care combo product, this may open an opportunity for them in order to have some form of coverage.
Awesome. I thank you for that, Katie. I appreciate your insight. And I would urge anyone who has questions about long-term care, short-term care, disability programs to reach out to our offices and speak with Katie specifically as to their needs. And you'll find too that as we talk about some of the trainings that we've done in the past, Katie's done a series of them that are available as a recording as well, and those are available to you. So at this time, Katie, I'm going to take back control and finish up with John. A couple of other things.
Thank you so much.
You betcha. Thank you. So I've got some different things on here that are guides that Medicare puts out for long-term care. These are available to you, and these can be a valuable tool for you to learn more about the programs as well in addition to the valuable resource you have with Katie within our organization, you also have some different things for reference too that will cover some of the common questions. And for those of us that are a bit of a geek, we like to look at some of those programs and make certain that we are differentiating between long and short-term care programs and that limited benefit for skilled nursing facilities that come as part of the Medicare coverage, because that's not designed for long-term care. When we look at some of the other categories that are not covered by Medicare and that are part of the portfolio of products that we offer, we speak to life insurance quite frequently. And so we want to make certain that people realize that, hey, Social Security, if you're looking for that to bury you, it's not going to happen. $255 is that benefit, and that's if you qualify for it, and that won't even open a grave. So we want to make certain that the tools that are made available for us there too, that speak to needs analysis in this area, are available to you as well. And we have a plethora of products in different categories here that are available to you. Single premium life programs that are very, very effective when we're looking at rolling over dollars in a 1035 exchange, term life policies to help with particularly some of the younger folks that are looking for large amounts of coverage without the saving component and at a lower premium. We have, of course, the guaranteed universal life and indexed universal life programs that are available to you, and many of the programs that go into estate planning with first to die and second to die programs, and the traditional whole life programs that are with the individual throughout their lifetime without changes in premiums that we see in some of the term life arena. Calculators that are available for you here will help you in that regard. In the old Prudential days, we used to speak to the 10x, 10 times the earnings in order to make it work, kind of as a cheat sheet. But as we look at an individual's circumstance, we want to make certain that we're tailoring that amount for that person's circumstance. And we have folks within our organization that can help you in that regard as well, and make certain that what you're looking for is available to your prospect. Can we get them underwritten and make certain that we're not giving them false hope, or do we need to go to a guarantee issue program to make that work? And within the final expense arena, we have a number of programs that are available in different categories. When we speak with our final expense program managers, we find that they recommend at least a carrier in each of the different arenas in order to make certain that we have within our quiver of products that arrow that fits that need in final expense. And they have some really cool marketing programs that can help you in this regard. The Legacy Safeguard program is a great tool for you to use, not only with your prospects and clients, but for you as well, because it's available without cost, and it helps with all that pre-planning that comes into play. I appreciate the fact that many times this is a difficult topic to bring up. However, it's available without cost to you and is a great tool to walk through and plan specifically for those final expenses that are inevitable with any life. You know, Benjamin Franklin said, what's the two inevitabilities? Death and taxes. We can work final expense programs to deal with the tax component as well. So as we go into the annuity arena, we find that we have a number not only of products that are available to you, but also resources to help you sell in this arena. And we find that this is, in many cases, a varied product where it doesn't have to be a huge elephant, where we're out hunting the white elephant and we're making certain that, gee, it's a ton of money going into an annuity. It's a great way to help people save as well. And we have programs that help you do that through ARC, through the Annuity Resource Center, and the rates and tool programs that are available not only with our organization, but also tapping into the industry assets to make it work for you, because you have flyers and other marketing material that is available to you and customizable for you with your information. So a great way to bring up the topic subtly. You can put it in your signature line of your email correspondence if you're utilizing that way, or on your curriculum vitae, your business card, if you work up your own resume that you use at different events and things of that nature. A great way to have tools that are available to you where you don't have to recreate the wheel, and it makes it easier for you. Of course, there are also needs analysis tools available for you here as well. Our annuity department is very proficient in helping you work through these situations. So if you haven't sold annuities in the past, they will make this as painless as possible for you by asking a specialist, and a great way of tailoring a program specifically for your prospect and your client. And we see also in this arena, much as what Katie flipped up on the screen just a minute ago, with a video library that helps you become much more comfortable with the programs that are available to you. And so here we have a number of videos as examples that will walk you through Annuities 101, clear into some cross-selling opportunities, and making certain that we're comfortable with the presentation and what we need to do in order to be active in this market. Additionally, there are marketing boost programs that can help you uncover these available needs and make certain that we're doing what's right for our client. It's important for us to look at the entire portfolio because we don't want to put all our eggs in one basket, and we want to make certain that we are incorporating all of these programs into a comprehensive plan. We have our lead programs. If you're specializing in the Medicare arena, as many folks that we talk to do, it's important to note that within that, we have folks that will sell Medicare supplements and won't sell MA, or vice versa. I personally have a challenge with that, but it all depends on how you're targeting that population as well. We want to make certain we do what is appropriate for our prospects and clients. And in order to do so, that may involve a bit of tweaking with the programs that come into play as to how we reach these individuals that are prospects for our portfolio of programs. And in some cases, that gives us the opportunity to cold call. I've taken 3 cold calls this morning. I know that if it's a robocall, I've got a telemarketer trying to sell me something, but we find many agents are very proficient in still doing this for Medicare supplements, for dental programs, or long-term care programs. If you select the population that has the income available to purchase such programs. There are also valuable components for us to integrate into our community-based programs. Our marketing aimed at our target market, where we're looking to establish an identity. If you have a brick and mortar office that you utilize, we want to make certain that you have the tools available to you to own that market, to own that part of the world. And that might be utilizing some of the retail programs that are out there, or we're talking Walmart already with locations. It may also give you the opportunity to do retail marketing with a specific carrier or design one on your own. But there are also different centers of influence in the community, such as boy, brain went dead there for a second. Sorry. Nutrition sites, different places of that nature that give you an opportunity to market, but also a couple of places that are almost organic in nature, where we're working with faith-based organizations, and in many cases, that requires presentations to deliver upon different topics. And with those topics, we can speak to different categories. So as we present to the different faith-based organizations we approach, we have a menu of programs available to them with presentations that can be made available in those circumstances. Straight from identifying different types of Medicare programs, getting started in Medicare, 101 programs, speaking specifically about Medicare Advantage or Med Subs or prescription drugs, a great hot topic, or also looking at legacy safeguard, the planning for the inevitable, speaking to long-term care, talking about dental programs and how that can be of great interest to these folks where that congregation may not be responding to any other type of advertisement, but will look at programs based from their church, from their mosque, from their synagogue, from whatever it happens to be, wherever the venue is that they worship. They also have social activities and informational programs available to them. And that gives us then the opportunity to speak to the providers that are delivering upon those services. So the doctors, the dentists, dealing with folks that are delivering services that are insured by our programs. Different carriers will offer different types of marketing support as well. This is kind of a quid pro quo situation where you scratch their back, they're scratching yours, but you can get a lot of assistance out of different carriers and find material to deliver upon the presentations, marketing opportunities within the community with carrier support. We do also offer social media and direct mail programs as well, and a great referral program that basically walks you in through different steps as to don't forget to ask. And here's how you can put in the question without being the old, I'm going to show my age here, Herb Tarlick in a plaid coat, opening it up and say, hey, you want to buy a watch? Doesn't work that way. We can do it subtly and get greater results. So why you want to do this with us here at Premier Marketing? Well, since we're talking about a number of different programs, we do have a program, a computer program that allows you to create an agent database, store your different pertinent pieces of information, your errors and admissions coverage, your licensure information, and contract electronically with a number of carriers without having to fill out individual contracts. It auto-fills them for you. There are certain programs that don't participate with this, and with certain programs, we'll want to take you direct to the carrier's electronic contracting process in order to speed things up. But here's a great way to store and select programs with a minimum of effort. We also offer a non-cancelable DI program on a modified guarantee issue basis where you're paid commission on a DI policy for yourself. A great way to add to your own benefit structure, whereas as a independent agent, well, hey, that's your benefit package. You need to fill that out as robustly as possible. This gives you the opportunity to protect your ability to earn. We do also offer discounted E&O for qualified agents. What makes you a qualified agent? You got a contract with us. But this is a program you own. It's not like being added to a blanket E&O policy for just one or two companies and then wondering what you're going to do with the rest. This is something that will fill that requirement the insurance companies have for you for your malpractice insurance, and do so where you own that policy and it covers you regardless of whom you're contracting through. We realize you're an independent agent and no marketing organization has every product under the moon. We want to make certain that we help protect you in this circumstance as well. I mentioned the fact that today's presentation is being recorded, and we've done past presentations as well. Katie's got a series of them. I do a number of them as well. They are available on our website and on our YouTube channel as well. So they're there for your access 24/7. We do also offer discounted continuing education bundles through our association with WebCE, and that gives you the opportunity to make certain that your license stays in play. And we offer a great tool without cost to you as an agent as you have contracts with us and other integrity partners through Medicare Center. It's a single sign-on for 3 quoting engines powered by Connecture, Sunfire, and CSG. It gives you the opportunity to send and collect the scope of appointment and store it for that 10-year period that is mandated by the regulations. But by doing so, we're then able to offer side-by-side plan comparisons, create a microsite for you where they can go and they enroll on their own as well. It also has a client database in there that you can utilize, so you can do those annual reviews and go back throughout the year and cross-sell, and has different resources within it as well to make certain that you have access to scripts and other information that can be very helpful for you in the selling process, including a cross-selling tool through the CSG component that allows you to fill in the gaps. There are many circumstances in the Medicare world where, hey, that person's quite happy with that MA program they're on. They're not going to budge off of it. But there is that hospital copay. So you can actually select that MA carrier. That is the plan that they're on. Add a hospital indemnity program and price it and illustrate it through this program. It gives you the opportunity to price dental programs as well. And it even has a final expense estimator in there too. Keep in mind, the programs that are here, of these, the final expense would require a second appointment, that cooling off 48-hour period mandated by the government. That co-op program that we have for direct mail, it's based on production, but you can qualify for 2 of them. One through production with health programs and one through final expense. We do so through vetted lead vendors that give you the technology to react to the returns as quickly as possible. And we vet the letters that are going out to help make certain that we keep all of us within compliance. We do also have a program for folks that don't want to mandate an entire mail program all of their own, or they want to access some of the returns more quickly than if you create that 2 to 3 week cycle with mandating your own mail program. Through direct mail responses, through an organization that gives us access to T65, MedSup, and Medicare Advantage leads. Now, these are programs where the costs will vary throughout the year by parts of the country that you're in. It's a supply and demand situation, but it's a great way to fill in gaps in your calendar and do so at a very economical cost. The internet lead programs that we have are through Facebook, one in play for final expense and for Medicare as well. A great way for you to have a micro response. And keep in mind, when you have a micro response from the folks that you're reaching out to, they expect a micro response from you as well. But a great way here too of doing some things very quickly to get the ball rolling. We do also offer a complimentary T65 locator. Well, you can tell I'm an old MA agent. I have a hard time saying the word free like JJ Walker does, but this is a program you download onto your smartphone, register for it. They find that you're contracted with us. You have access to find people geographically based on the parameters that you're putting in there. And for the folks that are comfortable door knocking for final expense or dental or whatever program allows that compliantly, it's a great way to utilize that to fill gaps in your schedule when you're in the community as well. That referral program that I mentioned, that is part of the sales process. Well, it's also part of engaging your book of business throughout the year as well, and going back to them, making certain that you are covering the needs that they have and creating referral possibilities there as well. So we do all this because we want your business. We want to be referable to you, and we want to make certain that we're providing you the tools to not only drive additional coverage and revenue within your agency, but do so in a fashion where you don't have to go out searching for it. And you don't have to worry about, hey, I don't know everything about it, because we have the subject matter experts that can make it available, that information available to you. And keep in mind, we want to be referable as well. So look at the benefits of having a portfolio approach. If it fits within your personal marketing program, you can implement it near immediately. Many of the plans that are out there, you don't have to do certifications for. The long-term care, yes. The Medicare Advantage and PDP programs, yes. But you don't for MedSups, except for one carrier. You don't for dental, vision, or hearing. You don't for a bunch of the life insurance outside of some of the fraud, waste, and abuse pieces that have to be satisfied. So it's something that you're able to do very quickly and move on. So I'm going to check for questions really quickly to make certain that we have everything taken care of. And boy, I clicked ahead of time there too much. There we go. Nope, we've got them covered. I want to thank you for coming on the line and visiting with us here today. You can reach us through our toll-free number at 1-800-365-8208. We will have marketers reach out to you as well, and you can reach us through our website. But I want to thank you not only for the time that you've invested with us here today, but also for the relationship we may have had with you in the past, the business that we've done together. For those of you that are considering doing business with us in the future in different categories as well, I thank you for that opportunity. And until we're able to speak again, I wish you good selling. Thanks so very much, and we'll talk to you soon.